Hello, and how are you? Not sure what I'm even wanting to talk about right now. Just setting up a link in case my boy Timmy or my brother comes in or someone else. I need to been talking to the wife too, trying to get a ride so that I can finally send that freaking degenerate in Minnesota these miniatures that are sitting here. I don't know how many of them will actually be useful for him, but they're going to be all his, which means they will not be my problem. And I'm okay with that. Right now, I'm packing or unpacking some minis that have been sent to me, and let's give them a look. Wow, that looks really good. But I'll tell you one thing I'm getting sick about, like it just sickens me to my soul, is elected officials referring to other elected officials as white supremacists or whatever. It sickens me to my soul because, one, I mean, they should know better. That's just like, really, to stand on your podium in the Senate or Congress and call the other party just all a bunch of white supremacists. I really think that anyone who does that should be immediately censored. Hello, Daniel. How are you, sir? Daniel J. Price, the third. And yeah, I don't want to spend much time talking about it. And I'm not even I'm not trying to take a side in this thing, even though we all know who it is that constantly does this. But yeah, if you are an elected senator or congressman or woman, and you literally are standing on the floor during congressional debate and you start your argument out with everyone on the other side is a white supremacist, I mean, sitting in a parking lot, hey, what's up, Big James? I don't know. And if you guys think I'm wrong, then by all means, explain this shit to me because my simple hillbilly brain just cannot wrap around it. It's like, I know if I were like an elected official and like elected representative, and I don't know, all I see is Daniel Price. Um, like if I were an elected congressman or something, and somebody just straight up came out and said everyone on that side is a racist, I'd have a problem. I mean, then they would look at my YouTube and probably say, "See, he's a racist. He made bad jokes." But no, I think I would have a real issue with that. I'd be like, because I remember there was a time when the left was always going off about decorum and people should act with a certain amount of decorum, and that's why we don't like Trump because he acts like a street thug from frickin' Queens, New York. He ain't got the decorum, and now they're just straight up con like the whole other side Nazis and shit. It's like, yeah, if I were it is my understanding that when these houses get together, whether it's Senate or Congress, that someone acts as the president of the thing or as the speaker of the house or something, and somebody needs to tell that person, whoever it is, hey, from now on, when somebody makes some stupid freaking accusation about some shit, have them thrown out. of Chambers, even if it's just a timeout for a little while. Put their asses in timeout. Personally, I would prefer straight up censor, but you know. Daniel, believe it or not, I do remember back in the old West times, I think there was actual shooting in like one of the houses or something. You know, I mean, we could be like Japan and those dudes. Watching Japanese politics is like watching freaking Ultimate Fight competition. Those guys, they have zero chill, you know. Like somebody will say something, the next thing you know, some Japanese politician jumping over a seat at him. They're in there not kung fu, but you know, they're in there fighting like crazy about shit. And part of me kind of loves it because I mean, it shows that for right or wrong, that politician is incredibly passionate about what he's trying to represent, you know, or oppose. But I personally, yeah, I just don't like it. And you know, the thing I don't like the most is that the person that's calling the entire other party racist is always of some minority group. And it's like, how are we ever going to have peace in the United States if a segment of our population who are here legally, you know, they're American citizens, is constantly attacking the majority because they want to defend people who are here illegally. And I mean, I've got a meme up on my Discord where it just says, you know, if you're riding to protect invaders, you're a traitor. And I'm starting to actually really think, yeah, that's maybe that's how we should treat people, you know. Oh yeah, C-SPAN would be the most popular. Like if one day you just saw Senator Kennedy jump up and run across the way and just punch Schumer right in the head, or vice versa. But I like Kennedy, so man, you know who would be the one to watch in those fights would be Fetterman. Because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Fetterman is kind of a big dude, you know? And for being in Senate or Congress or whatever he's in, he's still pretty young too. So, I mean, I don't know who you throw up against Fetterman. That would be the thing right there. I mean, okay. Oh, there's Big Vic. Okay. I was like, why did it do the beat and not show me the thing? Look at this guy. What's up?
Not much. Just hanging out at the brewery, waiting for them to load my truck.
Nice.
Yep.
What are they loading it with? Anything good?
No, it's going to Amazon, so it's got to be garbage. Probably something like Monster Energy drink or some shit like that.
Hey, a few monsters a week keeps the doctors away.
Okay, whatever you got to say about that.
And as my brother says, 6 monsters a day gives you a massive heart attack and a quadruple bypass.
Yeah.
Hey, everything in moderation. I've got my sugar-free monster right there. I never drink more than one. I don't slug them. I take my time. So, yeah, you're right, though. It's not to help. I mean, if I was, well, no, hold on, though.
You're drinking this stuff.
I drink a shit ton of water. Ciao.
Should order yourself some of this stuff, James.
What is that?
San Pellegrino Chow. This is a lime. They got orange. They got
goodbye.
San Pellegrino lime.
Yeah, but chow's goodbye, isn't it?
Chow means no sugars.
Oh,
All it's got is natural fruit juice in it.
see, I'm confused because the little bit of Italian I learned was like dudes on Vespas being all like ciao, and then riding off.
Yep.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different ciao.
No,
But
you got it right. Means goodbye.
yeah, well, you never know. I mean, I listen to a lot of Rammstein, and words can have totally different meanings depending on the context of the sentence. So,
Oh yeah.
rip to the Dawson. I don't even know who the Dawson is.
Oh, you mean the guy who died from Dawson Creek? He died of colorectal cancer.
Did he? The blonde one
Yep.
or the dark haired one?
The blonde-haired guy.
Oh my God. He was very young, wasn't he?
46, something like that.
Well, I mean, I have to admit, I did watch the show, but only because my maniac redheaded, Spanish, well, Latino or whatever, wife insisted. And because of that, I turned my brain off during that period. So I'm honestly not sure what was
Come
going
on, James. Come on, James. We all us men have that button in our head that we just can tune out our wives and just be like, oh, that's okay. We'll just
I
let
didn't
them
tune
babble
her out.
on.
I didn't tune her out. I tuned the TV out. So I'd sit
Oh,
there with my arm around her, and if she asked me something, I'd be like, "Yeah," but I wasn't paying attention
yeah.
to anything. I remember that the blonde kid cried a lot,
Mm.
and that annoyed me
Mm-hmm.
because I was always like, "Fuck is this kid crying about?" You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Paul. That's a thing. I probably should get it done. I know my doctor's been yelling at me for about 10 years. And I've been like not doing it for like 10 years. And every time I go in, because at the GP I go to, the general practice, they're always like, "Have you had a," and I'm like, "No." And they're like, "We need to get that done. Let me write that down, try and get you scheduled." And I'm like, "Okay." And then no.
Oh, well, are we talking about a colon exam, a camera up your ass?
Yep.
Don't worry, I haven't had one yet either. So,
And then I don't do it. And that's not good advice for anybody. Because I mean, as Hungar pointed out, I mean, and PB pointed out, people are dying of shit these days. And it would suck for somebody to die, especially if it had been really easy to not die. But then again, I don't know.
yeah, well,
And it's not even like I'm like super weird, because I am weird about the idea of anybody putting anything up, the back door, right? But yeah, it weirds me out just a little bit, but that's not what stops me from doing it. What stops me from doing it is just absolute pure laziness. Because once I leave the doctor's office, I feel like I've done what I needed to do, and now I'm just going to go home. You know what I mean? It's like, okay,
yeah.
you wrote me some scripts. You told me to do this while I'm at the house. Walk a little more. They always say walk a little more. Blah blah blah, and I'm always like, okay, I will, and I do. But that's
For about
the
a
one
week.
thing. Huh?
For about a week.
Well, no, I see. I have the perfect little, and you already know who I'm going to say.
Dog.
Yep, my little dog. Sometimes, see, my wife always jokes about this, because she can take him out 100 times and he might poop 3 times. I got almost damn near 100% on that. You know what I mean? And the reason is when I take him out, I will walk him around our whole property like 9 times. Like I walk his ass to death until he's like literally like, oh my God, I got to use the bathroom. You know? Because
It's time to go.
Yeah, I will walk him and walk him and walk him. And of course, that's good for me too, you know? Even though our house isn't on a huge plot of land, it's still, if you walk around it 5 times, it's, you know, like walking 20 blocks. You know what I mean?
You got to walk the dog so she gets a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, you know.
My dog has only one love and will never betray that love. And that's my wife.
Oh.
Not only does he love her, but he gets so angry if I even try to put my hands on her.
Oh.
Like, you know?
Little jealousy thing, huh?
Oh God. I don't want to get into it all, but oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And it's like the stupid kind of jealousy. It's like we'll be laying in the bed. We got a California king and we're laying in there. So, you know, you probably fit 10 people on that mattress, right? And I'll just reach over and touch her hand.
Yeah.
And he will freak out and start digging at my hand or putting his nose under my hand and trying to move it away. I mean, and I'm just like, you little bastard, you were supposed to be my dog.
Hey, that happens with all animals. My ex-wife had a brown kitten, Siamese, or not Siamese, Persian. And she brought this little cat home. And next thing I knew, it was laying in my lap all the time when I was sitting at the computer. It was just like, oh, nope, my favorite site is right there. I'm going to go lay in his lap and snuggle up and just, I would work for a couple hours. I'd look down and the cat would still be there. Like, what am I, a glorified, you know? You know, the cat was supposed to be hers and it turned out to be mine, you know?
Well, no, I know why things turned out the way they did. And it said, look at the dancing dogs. It's because when we picked him up, he sat on my lap all the way home because we went and picked him up from like an hour and a half away. And when we got home, he was so like tired, I guess, that he climbed into the bed and he laid across my chest and went to sleep. So he was my dog as far as he was concerned, at least at that point in his life. But then my wife works from home. So he can climb up next to her anytime he wants, right? So within a month, he was not my dog anymore. He was like,
betrayed.
Yeah, you know, I love you, Dad, but she lets me sit on her lap all the time. And you're always out doing stuff.
Betrayal.
So, yeah, pup trail, you know. And it is pup trail because I also give him the treats the most too. So it's like, man, you little traitor.
It happens.
Also, I'm the only one that yells at him. Well, not yells, but hollers at him in Russian too. So, because he's bilingual. So you'd think he'd be like, my peoples. No. I see Mobius dropping his Canadian flag.
Guess who's snuggling me right now?
I know who's snuggling you right now. You don't have to, whatever it's called, you don't have to do it. Brag. Mobius, I hope you guys are doing well. Because apparently you guys had a big issue go on, and the only thing I know about it is what I've seen on the internet. So I don't want to, you know, I'm not rubbing it in. I saw some shit on the internet and I was surprised. I was like, damn. Oh, you mean my wife rubbing? Oh, yeah. That's her favorite thing to do. because she knows that was supposed to be my dog, and it is not my dog by any circumstances. Like if she leaves the house to go get her nails done, she might be gone an hour or two because she gets the petty manny and all, that stuff that
She gets the full treatment.
she gets a full treatment. And since she's paying for it, it's not my business to say yes or no. You know what I mean? It's her money. And yeah, I was being sensitive about that tragedy that happened up there. I'm sorry about it, but I didn't want you to think I was making fun of something so terrible. But he will stand by the door and stare out. We got the big hurricane like glass door, and be there for like 2 hours. And I'll call him over and he'll run over and jump up on me and I'll cuddle him. And as soon as I put him down, I mean, whatever. Dogs are weird.
The betrayal is 100%, James. You just got to deal with it.
That is pretty much all there is to it. He has decided who he loves the most, and I just need to try to find a way to be happy about being the one he likes to watch him poop the most. So Mobius, you changed up your, oh no, you're on Rumble. That's what's going on. Every time you go on Rumble, it always throws me off. Yeah. Things keep going the way they're going. I might be on Rumble. Actually, because of this Restream program I use, if anything ever happened to me on YouTube, then when I set up a stream, I would just not pick YouTube. And and if I get my login stuff, which I have for Instagram and stuff like that, I would just stream to like Rumble and Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, I was forced to get Instagram the other day. My mother got a new puppy. I'm just like, oh great, she's 80 something years old. I wonder where that dog's gonna end up when she passes on. My house.
Could have been worse. She could have got Parrot.
Oh God. A buddy of mine's dealing with his wife. His wife is on this. I want to get a tortoise jag. And I'm like, you're 50 something years old. Your kids will have to deal with that tortoise for at least another 50 years. I was like, you're nuts. So
do you know what I do if I ever feel like I want to mess around with a turtle? Wait till we got a good hard rain and just walk around the neighborhood, because sure as shit you will find a turtle trying to slide from one pond to the next.
Oh yeah.
And if you walk up behind them and you carefully grab just the back of them, I mean, you got to be pretty steady nerves, because those like greenback turtles, those leatherbacks as we call them, leatherback snapping turtles, their neck is like a foot long. So if you grab them the right way, they can't reach you, but man, it looks like they're going to.
Oh, I know. I've had many
a turtle called Streaky Gems. They're hard shell turtles, and they got like yellow stripes on their head, so we call them Streaky Gems. And you walk up, pick that thing up, and it'll just, you know what I mean, sit there and wait for you to put it down. So I don't have to actually go out and try to buy a turtle. I can just walk out to the pond and watch them all day, man. If I go out there with a cup full of cat food, start throwing it in there, next thing you know, there'll be like 10 snapping turtles in there eating that cat food.
Oh, yeah.
They love it. But you'll have you'll have turtles and catfish. Catfish, for some reason, they really like cat food a lot. I think maybe the cat food is really greasy, and that's what they like. They like that greasy stuff.
They like that oily, smelly crap.
Yeah. But
I am having a load of Celsius, it looks like.
huh,
I'm
Oh, yeah.
all on today.
is it White Claw? You're getting ready to make a bunch of middle-aged white women so happy.
Yeah, it's all going to California, so they'll have to get their ass out there.
Hey, I'm telling you though, those ladies they love their White Claws. They get a little
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. You give them that
It's-
alcoholic seltzer water shit, they get a little wild, man.
I don't
They'll
know,
be like,
man.
"Hey."
I've always gotten women have always gotten all
Yeah,
right.
down
Well,
here,
it's
White
always
Claws and
it's
stuff
always
like that.
wine, man. It's always wine that seems like the women get happy with.
Well, I mean, White Claws are the new wine cooler for like middle-aged white women in Florida.
Yeah.
Because you know how when we were young, the girls we hung out with always wanted like Seagram's wine coolers or whatever.
Yep.
At least where I was.
Oh, California, Paris.
Seal. Wait.
All right. Thank you.
Seal it up. Drive safe.
Yep. Thank you.
And yeah, they always want some wine coolers of some type or another. And you always bought some because, you know, you're trying to do whatever they're looking
Right.
for because of whatever. But anyway, now it's White Claws. And I think it's because White Claws are super low calorie. Because it's just basically seltzer water with freaking alcohol and a dash of some kind of fruit flavor.
That's what San Pellegrino is. San Pellegrino Chow. It's about the same thing, except for no alcohol whatsoever. So
Yeah. So since the ladies are watching their weight at a certain age and they think they can drink those White Claws and get blitzed, they do. And it can be very funny.
yeah. No, last time I saw up in Upper Michigan, and the face fell off from where we were camping at 5 feet from going in Lake Superior. So
Well, you know what they say about Superior, Vic? I think you're bouncing out. Yeah.
what's that?
The thing they always say about Lake Superior is that it never gives up its dead, especially
Yeah.
when the skies of November get gloomy.
Oh yeah, ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to turn off the camera there. I can still talk, but
No, that's fine.
I'm-
I'm going to try to convince my wife, which, to be fair, she'll do it for me because she loves me. But at some point within the next week, hopefully I can convince her to drive me up by the Publix where the UPS store is. And get
you know what
this-
you got to do, James? Yeah, hey, Valentine's Day is Saturday, right?
Oh
Did you
my
get her
goodness.
anything
Don't-
yet?
don't even remind me of that.
Did you get her anything special yet? Get her anything good?
I don't even want to say what I got her, but I was so surprised at what it was because
Yeah.
she asked for a bunch of things and I got her a bunch of things. But one of the things I seriously had to like sit down and think about for like an hour, like,
Yeah.
really?
Huh?
I mean,
Well.
because I didn't know a box of chocolates could cost that much.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean,
Find
I
out.
would no way in hell would I spend that kind of money on like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, I know. I
But
don't.
mean,
luckily,
what mama wants,
luckily,
mama gets. So it is what it is.
luckily, mine doesn't have that tooth. But I think on Saturday I will be. I'm gonna head out to the grocery store, and I'm gonna get a meal that both of us like, and I'm going to slave away in the kitchen for a little while and make her one of her favorite meals. You know?
Well, I might beg her, and by beg I mean I might talk to her because honestly, I make our relationship out to be a little bit different than it actually is. I don't ever have to beg her or anything. She's not like a maniac. But
Yeah.
we got some supposedly really good porterhouses in the freezer.
There you go.
Might be nice to throw those on the grill. I mean, she, like myself, is primarily a carnivore, so.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? To really make it nice, get out a nice couple pads of butter and put them on top of those
I always do.
porterhouses.
Yeah, I usually wait till they're done cooking and then put a pat of butter on top to let it melt in.
Oh yeah.
Bartles and James or Zima. Yeah, Zima was another one.
God.
I remember when
Zima was nasty.
Thing, man.
Zima was nasty.
What?
Strawberry Hill.
Strawberry Hill. Get out of here.
Okay, if she's going Strawberry Hill, then we might as well go for what was that?
2020.
Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah, she's in that room talking about Strawberry Hill, Boone's Farm. It's like, what? Were you a homeless man in your past life or something? What's going on here?
I know. Oh my God.
She is a good. I don't know.
Or Boone's Farm. Boone's Farm green apple. Oh man, there's a couple days I ingested that. Oh my God.
I don't know what you would call I guess just a bartender.
Yeah.
But she makes the best cocktails, especially she makes amaretto sour, whiskey sours. And they are pretty amazing. I do have to admit, it's just a testament of our own willpower to not be doing that all the time. That we're not both just full blown alcoholics.
I was a bartender working my way through college.
Of course, you were a bartender working your way through college. Is that code for you were a stripper?
No.
Because I could believe it.
No, I actually was a bartender. You didn't know that?
I knew that. I'm making a joke.
Oh.
Because the strippers always say they're just working their way through nursing school or whatever. No, it's like a meme. Every stripper is trying to go through nursing school. Yeah, if she asked me to grab her a fifth of Cisco, Wild Irish Rose. That's the worst thing I ever drank. I bought a bottle of Wild Irish Rose one time, and I threw it away because it was terrible. It was absolutely the worst shit ever. And I was like, yep, I am not dealing with this. That's a waste of $4.99. And that was back in the freaking 80s. So, I think we lost Vic. He froze up. Internet hates truckers. Or did I freeze up? Is anybody else out there? Thought I saw my brother in the chat. Now I'm not sure if I did or not. Because he has to know that if I saw him in the chat, I'm going to be like, hey, what are you doing? You know what you got to do. You got to come here and talk to your brother. Tell me what's going on in your life. How you been? Basic
all right, can you see me now?
I see you now. Your internet is back.
Well, that's because I'm driving down the road, man. I gotta have to turn you upside down so I can just chat.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
You just froze for a minute. But
No, I suggest you go to the grocery store, get her some fine victuals, and make her a meal on Valentine's Day. Show you how much you appreciate her, and then you know, then you're basically done until her birthday. Or
this
anniversary.
isn't this like a thing from that TV show that Gary's always going on about, where the 80s kids are playing D&D and fighting monsters from another dimension or something? What's it called? Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yeah.
And I think this is like from that.
I can't see what
You
it
can't
is,
see
but
it, but the rest of the guys in chat.
is it like a
It's the
uh,
logo that I think the one kid had on his jacket.
oh, you mean Hellfire Club?
Yeah, yeah. So this guy that I order some stuff from sent me a sticker, and it's exactly the Hellfire Club.
Oh, okay.
It's got like a flail and a sword with fire and like a demon head and like a
Yeah.
die 12 and a die 4. And well, that is interesting since I never paid for it, and he sent it to me. So I don't watch that show. I haven't since season 1, which is not a opinion on the show. It's an
Oh.
opinion on me,
Well,
because I have a hard time watching like multiple seasons of anything.
right. My girlfriend was like, she's trying to relate Dungeons and Dragons to it, and I'm just like, oh, they take some creative license. This isn't all Dungeons and Dragons related on here. But I thought, and then she's like, well, how do we fight Vecna? And I said, first words out of my mouth was, you don't.
Well, if you're playing like later editions, they made him a god.
Yeah.
He's like the god of secrets or some shit. In AD&D, if you're really powerful, you might be able to defeat Vecna, but it's not going to be permanent.
Yeah.
I mean,
I tried to explain that to her. It's just like, she's like, do you think we're powerful enough to do that? And I looked at her character sheets and stuff, and I said, not a chance. You guys don't have enough power or anything to take on Vecna.
it's
just
kind
like,
of funny too, because they use in a lot of those games, and it's not actually funny at all. I just said that for a stupid reason. The idea of these beings recoalescing after a period of time is very similar to the ancient Egyptian idea of the body having the Ba and the Ka. And under some circumstances, the Ka, which is your spirit, will gather up enough energy to try to rebuild the Ba, which is the body.
right.
So in that way, you might kill somebody and they might actually come back,
Oh,
Yeah. A lot of people had a problem with the last season. I didn't see it. And my favorite character from the first season was like the older guy that was dating the one chick. And I remember like at one point they were standing on top of like a car or something in a graveyard fighting off monsters or something. And I thought he was pretty cool. And I think he's the one that goes on to become like the DM of the Hellfire Club. Because I watched I think it was actually Professor Dungeon Master, and he's talking about how that guy, when they showed him DMing, he got like way into it, and he really entertained the players instead of just sitting there describing shit like I usually do. So yeah, he was kind of the long-haired kid. Oh yeah. But I mean, they deserve it though. Mobius, because if any group were to find the hand or the eye of Vecna and then figure out it is the hand or eye of Vecna, and then be willing literally to cut their own hand off or pull their own eye out, I mean, they kind of deserve what they got, coming to them at that point.
Well, here's my thing. Players are sitting there playing and they want to trip that. I'm like, okay, I don't care, but I just like, it's sort of like them picking up stuff in a dungeon. My players picked up a statue in the last dungeon, said it was very ornate, white stone with green veins and going through it, and they're like, we want to keep this, and so they went through all the preparations to keep it. Nobody's touched it with their bare skin yet, and I'm just like, you guys don't know what you're fucking with. I'm just letting them play with it. You know what I mean? It's just like, yes,
Well,
you
all I
want to play
can
with
say to
something?
that is great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Because my player group in one of the places where they found an idol of Cthulhu. And I even explained to them how, it was made out of some kind of weird streaked green stone, the likes of which you've never seen. And it looked like a giant humanoid / octopus / dragon thing, so I didn't go into depth about it. I just described what it was. And one of the players took it. And now every night she goes to sleep, she keeps dreaming of a distant underwater city.
Oh.
And as the time goes by, and it's been about a couple weeks, she keeps seeing the city and she's getting closer to it each time.
Oh.
And she can see the giant bronze doors, And so she went to a witch, because witch is a class in Hyperborea. And the witch explained to her that by picking that thing up, she basically made a connection, like from her mind to the mind of the dreaming one.
Well,
and if she don't get this big ritual done, which she may not survive, and it may not even work, eventually, if she makes it to him, that'll pretty much be the end of her character.
Mine decided to keep the statue after I described it as the what was the name of the lady lady goddess in the Tomb of Elemental Evil? It starts with a Y or whatever her name was.
Boy or something like that. The fungus god.
I described this to them and they still wanted to keep it. I'm just like, okay, you guys know how evil this is, and you guys still want to take this out of its little temple and transport it somewhere. Okay. Whatever happens, guys.
I kind of feel sorry for my party, because I don't think they really knew what they were dealing with, I do know that the majority of the party was like, I am not picking that thing up. But the assassin did. And so now she's basically got this witch who has agreed to try to perform the basically exorcism, which is the only way to get rid of that connection with the statue. But like I said, it's going to require a shock test and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
2 days of fasting and this, that, and the other. Now, before you feel really bad for this assassin, bear in mind that when she's in Cremorium, when she was in the city, every week she would sneak to the secret dungeon of what's his name? The Morzagon, the god of murder, and basically be in the crowd while they I see you guys, I'm working on it. Basically be in the crowd while they made a human sacrifice, and then they all danced around in the blood.
Hey,
let me get PD in.
Somebody said we needed in chat.
hey, Paul.
Where the hell?
Somebody said in chat we need to add cultists to these dungeons, and I'm like, the priest in my dungeon died 27 years before, and he was being absorbed by the fungi and lichen and stuff like that. So the cultists have all.
He is being absorbed by the fungi of Yagath,
If anything, how cliche.
who is a very fun guy.
Fungi.
But-
Fungi.
So anyway, that's what's going on with my group. They're trying to break a curse that some idiots got going, where an evil monsterish smoke thing every Wednesday night it shows up and tries to kill somebody, and if you kill it, it just turns into smoke, and then the very next Wednesday it comes back and takes another shot. And but yeah, my player characters, because of the nature of Hyperborea, some of them are good. Some of them I wouldn't leave alone with, like small children or old people, because they might sacrifice them, you know? So yeah, the assassin worships the god of murder, which in Hyperborea is just an alias for Ares, who, you know, the god of murder and bloodshed. But anyway, Timmy, good to see you. Paul, how you doing? I hope you are doing
You're mute,
well.
Paul.
Doing good. Yeah, I was like, oh, there's no noise coming from my face hole. I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
Good to
What's
hear, good to
shaking over here? What are you building today?
I have just put together a couple of miniatures. I'm getting ready to dye these guys hair blonde.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Vanner, I think, or maybe Azer from Conan, the board game.
Mm.
And what I remember is one group of them all have blonde hair and the other group all have red hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I might need to look that up. Otherwise, I'm still trying to clear the table of like stuff when it gets done being painted, so that I'm not messing with the Baronsworth stuff until this mess is done.
Yep.
So it may be there for, I don't know, ever.
I was gonna say, you got a lot of leaning boxes laying on top of leaning boxes. It's a dangerous proposition, because once you pull one of them loose, something's gonna fall.
Oh yeah, the ones on the bottom, that's all of the extra Legion Imperialis stuff.
Yeah.
Because once I start putting together the army lists for each of the different forces, I have like way more for each force than I need without them.
Trying to see here if I can get this. I think my spares are up there. I got my Necromunda spares and 40k stuff. See, that's the thing for playing skirmish. I've only got a few extra boxes. Those are like unbuilt, still on the sprue. Because anything I've got painted, I've packed it away into, foam carrying stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I ended up like selling it, but when I decided to get back into 40k years and years ago, because you know how sometimes you quit, but then you come back.
I had a buddy who did that. Yeah, he was like, he'd buy up a bunch of armies, then he'd quit. He'd look for something to replace 40k, and then go back to 40k. It's like dealing with a heroin addict.
Yeah, I would say basically.
Yeah.
And so I decided, F this game. I'm not playing it again. Sold all my armies. And then like 2 years later, I'm like, damn, I got that itch, you know?
Yeah.
So.
All right, boys, I'm going to let you guys go. See you later.
Okay, I'll catch you later, Vic.
See you later, Vic.
So what I ended up doing is I did a whole cost analysis of what it would cost me to get back into Imperial Guard. And at that time, they had for 70-something bucks this box set that came with like a heavy weapon, some Cadians, a Commissar, and a Lehman Russ tank.
There you go.
I ended up over time buying 10 of them. But the problem is I didn't need the infantry. Because
you just wanted the tanks?
Well, yeah. That was after they added the whole you can have a tank commander who leads an army of tanks, and Leman Russ tanks can be your core units. And
Oh wow.
I think it was like the special Leman Russes could be fast attacker or what's it called?
Deep strike or whatever.
Heavies.
Oh, okay.
Like, so if you wanted a couple of heavies, you got Leman Russ demolishers.
Mhm.
And it was like the one with the rotary cannon on it was like your fast attack Leman Russ or some shit like that. So, yeah, I had no intention ever of using the Imperial Guard because I have a couple thousand points at least of Mordian Steel Guard. I have my Armageddon Steel Legion, Iron Guard Steel Legion, and I have an all metal army of Catachan. So I just ended up selling 10 boxes worth of sprues of Cadians to some guy pretty cheap. So he got an army. I mean, because he got 100 Imperial Guardsmen. But I would never play Cadian. Too vanilla for me. I'm too much of a hipster for that shit, you know?
Oh, really? Yeah.
If I was
I
to
mean-
make an army,
Yeah.
I would really wish that I could do a good Templar army, but they don't seem to be very good in the game right now.
Every army in 40K becomes better or worse depending on whatever Games Workshop is actually trying to sell, Tim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's how. Yeah, I remember Fantasy. We
I
started
don't
with
like
the
that.
old.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Fantasy was started with the old Goblin and High Elf box, and it was like, and it wasn't like you can. It wasn't until they came out with the the Bretonnian and Lizardmen box that you could really tell like, oh, they're really trying to push these guys, because then they did the vampire counts and they were the most powerful, and everybody was playing vampire counts. And you're like, oh, it's like they learned from Magic the Gathering. It's just a big arms race, and you want to win, so you're going to make them spend money.
If anything, though, maybe the Sisters of Battle. I already got a few of them.
They're cool.
Yeah.
I can say proudly that GW didn't get any money out of me during that period.
Yeah.
I had my freaking dark elves, and by God, no matter how many times I lost to vampires, I was playing my dark elves, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had
that'd be
it- like I
me. I'd
said,
be
yeah.
stubborn. I'd be like, nope, I'm still playing this. I don't care.
No,
Yeah,
the
I
thing
had a
is,
buddy like that. He had always had his bolt thrower, always had his cold one riders, and we're just like, as long as he's enjoying the game, because that's all we cared about. We were like, whatever.
same. And yeah, it was also a challenge because let's be honest, the bolt throwers are okay.
Yeah.
But the cold one riders suck.
Yeah, they're
You're
dog shit.
way better off not taking them and spending those points on dark riders with repeating crossbows, because those things are super fast. They
Yeah.
can flank out and just start harassing and shooting things. And it works amazing against every army but one.
Now, James, I got a stupid idea for an army for 40K. Canis
why would
Rex. What?
Why would you tell me something
I don't
that you know is stupid?
I like the idea. I just don't think it'd ever work. It's a Canis Rex, Saint Celestine, and like some Seraphim.
Yeah, that's not even fantasy, dude. What are you doing?
I'm sorry, I don't know fantasy. I know 40K.
We were talking about fantasy, my brother.
I'm sorry.
But
Sorry.
the thing is, yeah, the only army that those dark riders didn't completely destruct, vampire counts.
Yep.
Because one, you're not getting anywhere near charge range of a group of freaking blood knights or whites or anything like that. Those
Yep.
guys will just kill you dead. And if you try to harass their zombie hordes, they don't care. They got like a
Yeah.
level 1 necromancer in there just summoning zombies. So, literally I had nothing for that whole army. It's like, even when I started fielding for a while you could field what they called city guard units, which were 50% spearmen, 50% crossbowmen in one unit, right? So if you had 40 of them, it was basically 20-20. Even if I fielded big units like that, if the zombies got to you, you could kill dozens of them around and then see dozens more die. And
Yep.
then as soon as it's his turn, it's like, I got corpse wagon, level whatever necromancer, plus that necromancer over here. So boom, 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 and the unit's full and ripping your ass again.
Yeah, that's usually how those kind of necromantic or undead armies work. Like they have a unit like zombies or skeletons that really isn't for fighting. It's more for like they could create like a speed bump or something
Yeah.
to kind of hedge your army and then pin you in place, and then they'll fly in like some guy that's a gargoyle, or have some kind of pinpoint unit that'll come and kill your stuff that's actually worth killing, and then just tie up all the rest of the units that are trying to break through. So yeah, they suck. But that's
Yeah, my
what
buddy's
they do.
favorite thing was we call it down here, we call it tar pitting.
Yep.
Because the zombies basically throw you in the tar pit and you can't get away.
Yeah, they just lock you into
And
combat,
you're
and
just
people.
standing there, and eventually the blood knights get around to flanking you.
Yeah.
At which point you're dead. Because
Yeah.
I mean, there's just nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, and people tried all kinds of shit. They'd have like a hero in the front with a Hydra sword to try to get enough attacks to mow them down. But it's just like when you've got a unit of like 40 or 50 of them, it's gonna take you like 3 turns to get through them, and by that time you're toast. So, yeah,
I tried everything. I tried hiding assassins in infantry units. I actually tried hiding the hero assassin in an infantry unit, the named one.
hmm
I mean, I literally, yeah, I did like everything. I level 4 sorceress on a Pegasus. Maybe I can drop that freaking big, whatever spell that has the big template and kills everything under it.
Oh yeah, that's one of
and guess
the
what?
fire ones, right? It's it just drops like a big thing and kills everything. It's like it doesn't do a damage roll. It's like instant death.
It's a dark magic spell.
Okay.
And according to the spell, it makes a bunch of skeletal hands jump out of the ground and grab you and pull you under.
Mhm.
So the unit that you hit has to make an attribute save. But I mean, zombies suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say like zombies, skeletons, and mummies had like an initiative of like 1 or something. If you hit them
Yeah,
with
so
anything
you
that had a
could just-
dodge check, they were dead. So yeah,
Right. And you know what? None of it worked.
wow.
But I had the best time ever,
Yeah.
Me and the wife would go to the comic shop, and I'd meet my bro there, and we'd pick a table and set armies up, and she would sit and watch and paint. And then I've told this story before. After he beat my ass, we would go to Red Lobster.
Oh, those were great times. Yeah, I had a buddy over here. He had a comic shop that he was turning into a kind of a war game shop. He was getting his GW stuff in there, so we would go there and play Kill Team, and then we go just down the street to the Thai place, and it was like we did that every other Sunday. It was awesome. It's a good time.
Man. One of the things I miss the most about my pops moving to Kentucky is he used to drive me to one of my doctor appointments instead of me having to take medical transport, which generally is okay, but I just don't like being around people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And like a block away from the doctor I had to see every month was a Thai restaurant, and it was so fucking good.
Good
So
stuff. Yeah.
he and I looked forward to that doctor's appointment, because we'd be like, we'd be cruising up there in my little Fiat, bullshitting around and being like, you know what today is? And I'm like, I'm getting some pad Thai, extra spicy with shrimp.
Yep.
And he always ordered the same thing, Thai fried noodles or Thai fried rice.
Yep.
But me, I switched it up. I'd order red curry, green curry, yellow curry, just everything, And I always tell people when they ask me, what's Thai food like? I said, it's like Chinese food, but superior in every single way.
But cleaner and tastier. It's noticeably more delicious. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I say, that was my analogy for D20 being the Chinese food of role playing, because it's all tastes the same, and that's because most Chinese restaurants are so cheap they don't change their oil. That's why it's like you get weird fishy tastes in your chicken and all that shit. Ugh. But hey, if fills you up and you like slop, play
That's
D20.
basically how they survive. It's like
Yeah.
it's cheap.
Yeah.
They our local Chinese restaurants, boy, they load up on the rice.
Yeah.
So whatever you order, you're getting a meal that you
Yeah.
probably eat for 2 or 3 days. But after eating actual Thai food, it's just not the same, you know.
Yeah. I forgot how I came across it. I think I was just driving and I saw this Thai place that I go to all the time now, but I stopped in and I was like, all right, what's the story? And it's like the guy's he's working for the transit authority in the CTA over here, and he's getting ready to retire, but he married his wife. She's from like northeastern Thailand, so she cooks like legitimate Thai food there. It's not
Right.
going to the kitchen. It's just a bunch of Mexicans or whatever. Not saying they can't do it, but this is a lady who grew up on this stuff. So it was like, awesome, let's try it out. And it was funny, like just the other week, I realized I'd been going there for like over 10 years and I never ordered pad Thai. I was always ordering all the other stuff because she had stuff that I'd never even heard of, I was like, let's
Another
try out her
thing I
pad Thai. I
really
never
like-
tried it.
I really like the deep fried soft shell crab
Okay.
that they do. That's good. But pad Thai is honestly just stick noodles with a paprika sauce.
Yeah.
And then they can throw whatever they want in it for you and heat it up.
Yeah. They usually give you
Obviously.
some lime to squeeze on it. Comes with cilantro, crushed peanuts, stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's usually around that,
Yeah, diced well, at this Thai place, it didn't come with the diced peanuts because when you sat down in the booth, they put this like tray in front of you, and it had like 3 different types of pepper sauces, like red peppers, like hot
Nice.
sauces. It had like the chopped peanuts, so all the condiments that normally you would think would be on the food were at the table.
Yeah.
So you could order the pad Thai and then you could just scoop in and grab those chopped up peanuts and sprinkle it on.
That's cool.
You know,
Yeah.
if you wanted, if it wasn't hot enough for you when it came out of the kitchen, you could just reach in there and grab a big spoonful of that red chili paste and drop on top of it. And I mean, that's straighten it up. But
It reminds me of the Vietnamese place we have on the north side. I tried pho, and that's how it was. They just bring out like a plate of what was that, bean sprouts, a plate of jalapenos, and I think a plate of fresh basil. And then you get your bowl, with your broth and your pork in it, and you can just throw whatever you want in it to flavor it. And I was like,
right.
okie dokie. So you could put in the
It's-
bean sprouts, which
You're
is pretty
sitting
much
here
just
talking about all this Asian food we ate. And guess what? That's
What?
kind of what they did when I went and got Korean barbecue, except they brought out a bowl of kimchi and set on the table,
Mhm.
and it came with the meal.
nice.
It was like, okay, so that's when I started picking at it, and I'm like, oh, it's a little spicy, but man, it's good.
Yeah.
And then I now I eat kimchi all the time.
Well, it's like when we went to eat at an Indian. I remember we were driving home. I forgot what we were doing. We were gaming or watching a movie or something. And my buddies were like, Jesus, we are so hungry. And I was like, I used to work over here. There's an Indian place. Let's swing in. And before you get any of your food, they bring in that really bright red chicken. That's kind of like almost like an appetizer that just comes with it. I think that's like a northern Indian thing.
It's like tandoori chicken or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. And they were like, "What is it?" And I was like, "Oh, just don't worry about it. It's just chicken. It's not super hot or anything." I'd warned them. I was like, "Don't order anything vindaloo. That's just going to melt your face off.
That's
we
my
want to eat."
favorite.
It's so spicy, man. Like I like Thai food because it's tasty and spicy. That vindaloo is like they just put like hell lava on lamb, and you eat it, and you're like, I'm in pain, physical pain, eating this. I don't know why.
You know what the nickname of Vindaloo is?
Burning asshole? No, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that could be a nickname, but no, it's called the King of Curries.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, in spice in this term, probably. But that's the thing. Like, I'm trying to think of what my favorite. I like green curry. I think that one of the Thai curries, it's pretty solid. I can eat a green curry about any day of the week. So
I honestly can't choose between my favorite children.
it's like a Sophie's choice for you. You're like, I can't love them
It's
all
like,
equally.
I just can't do it. All I know is that 99% of the time I had shrimp thrown in it.
Mhm.
Because I like shrimp, and 100% of the time it was delicious. Now, when I make vindaloo, I use pork shoulder.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Because the original recipe calls for pork shoulder.
Mm.
But
Interesting.
because you know, Pakistan is what it is.
Yeah, as I say, they don't cook with a lot of pig over there or beef
Yeah.
because of Hindus.
Well,
so
it's not.
like,
It's haram to them,
yeah,
which is like for us being not kosher.
Yeah.
And but the original recipe is a Spanish dish called vinegared pork. And when the Spanish ruled the province of Goa in India,
right.
they basically tried to get their Indian housekeepers and cooks to make vinegared pork, and vindaloo was the result. and the Spaniards were like, this is pretty fucking good though. and then now it's like,
Yeah.
So basically, it's a situation where they culturally appropriated our shit, and now
that shit. I don't even believe in any of that. That
Me
cultural.
neither.
It's like,
I was
give me a
being funny
fucking,
about it.
I know, but it's like, it's funny because they're like, no, everybody agrees on food because everyone has to eat. It's like air and water, you go down to the basics. And that's why whenever people sit there and shit on the French, I'm like, I'm glad the French stuck it out against the fucking English for so long. Because can you imagine what cuisine would be like if it was all English ruled?
See,
eating
that's
jellied
an
eel
unfair
and all that
thing.
other bullshit. Ugh.
That is an unfair thing for anybody to ask me because I absolutely love roast beef with like a little mashed potato and peas, some gravy. I could pretty much live on that every day.
Sure.
So,
Italians do it better.
I live on chicken. Just chicken.
Just chicken. Well, you do live in the state that spawned Colonel Sanders. So there you go.
We fry it a lot of the times.
Yeah, Jimmy, you're in Kentucky. I'm going to go ahead and assume you fried the chicken.
We don't usually grill it. We don't usually whatever else you could do. Bake it.
Jim, are you drunk?
No.
Okay. Just asking, bro.
I don't drink anymore.
He's just high on life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, Tim and I'd be sitting here like years ago, bullshitting around, and he'd be slugging freaking rum right out of the bottle and shit.
I wouldn't drink it out of the bottle. I was not uncultured.
I wasn't judging you anyway, bro.
I'd usually try to not over drink either. It was just last time I kind of lost control of myself, I guess.
I understand, man. You drink too much. You wake up next to some freaking sewer hog. Try to gnaw your own arm off to get away, but it hurts too much, so you can't. I mean, well, where you live in the swampy area, I guess it'd be a bog pig or something. You get way too drunk and wake up next to a bog witch with black teeth. And you're just like, oh my God. And then your whole body smells like her body, and her body don't smell really good. And you're like, I don't remember anything, but based on the fact that I'm covered in slime and grit, something happened.
Can't be good.
Yeah, something happened. It's not really good. Not really proud of this.
For me, when I woke up, my headphones were in the living room somehow.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to get into everything that happened there.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't like that. It was just like I woke up not knowing what was happening. My computer was all messed up. And,
you know what,
my
Timmy?
headphones
I'm
were
going to give
fine.
you some unsolicited advice, bro, because I like you. You need to start going to church.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably meet a good woman there. And you're getting too old to not have a good woman. Anyway, or not.
We can
I have
move on.
opinions. Horror stories with James. Look, see, they're not horror stories to me. 3-7 infantry, cotton bellers by God, damn fine soldiers. We would go to the E Club, me and my bros on the same dismount team, and the goal was to see who could pull the most weight. And then that guy was the winner. And
Yeah,
then,
James.
like, the
But
next
were you
time
part
we
of
were
the E4
out,
Mafia?
I was part of the E4 Mafia twice. But then if you got whoever got the most weight, then the next time got his drinks free. And when you're like 17 or 18, but they serve you alcohol anyway because you're on an army base, boy, you learn some stuff really quick. And when I say who pulls the most weight, I mean exactly that. I mean, like pulling women as big as frickin' what's her name? Gunthor the Destroyer, what Gorzak the Destroyer and shit.
Gorlock, yeah.
Yeah, pulling Gorlocks. And it was something that had been passed down. It was like some dude had done it and then eventually ETS'd out, but left the tradition behind. So when the new guy shows up, he gets introduced into the tradition. And I don't know, that shit may have been going on 100 years. But yeah, if you can bang the fattest chick in the bar that night, you get free drinks the next time you guys go. The air guys got to buy all your drinks. So, you know.
It sounds like one that I wouldn't try too hard winning. I feel like I'm being trolled on that
We're
one.
a bunch of high testosterone, high speed, no drag infantrymen. We didn't lose. You know what I'm saying? That mentality was there. Win at all costs, crush your enemies. Yeah. So you end up with a guy bragging about banging a 300-pound woman. Whereas in normal society, no one would brag about that.
Yeah.
But in our little society, our little cultural mishmash fucked up group, you know, if you manage to be the guy that banged the biggest chick, I mean, that shit was, they didn't put like a picture of you on the wall, but they may as well have. You know what I mean?
All right.
Like you'd be walking around and the air dudes would be like, hey man, that dude over there, he pulled one in that was half the weight of a Bradley. I mean, it was. And then we also, because we were troublemakers, we changed up our salute. With certain officers, we could get away with it. And it was when you walk up, you throw the salute instead of saying Cotton Bellers, by God. You throw the salute up and you'd say Hog Slayers, by God. And then the officer, if he was in on the thing, he'd throw the salute back and be like, damn drunk soldiers. And then you just keep going. That's how you knew which officers were cool.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they were in on the thing, you know. But of course, in the field, it was all professional all the time. But back in barracks, getting in trouble, getting dumped off at company headquarters by MPs, you know, banging 350-pound chicks. My buddy banged a chick. I told you this. She was so fat, it bent my army bunk frame like that.
Oh, God.
I was on vacation. I come back from my vacation and my bed is just wrecked. And then I had to explain that shit to the supply, Sergeant Lewis, the supply clerk. And boy, he was unhappy.
I think I'd be unhappy too.
Well, the only reason I got away with it was because I was on vacation and could prove it. And there were no witnesses. So it's like, okay, who did this? Well, you never really locked your barracks. You locked your wall locker, but not the barracks door. I don't even think there was a lock on that fucking door. So anyway, Mobius. So to me, that's not a horror story. That's just a competition. But I bet you if you ask other military units, especially the Navy, they'll tell you they did the same thing. Because it started somewhere, you know. How you doing up there with the temperature in Chicago?
It's not too bad these last couple of days. Like it warmed up enough that all the ice and snow cleared up. Let's see here. What do we got? Is it still showing? I don't know why.
It's just a bit muddy up here in Kentucky.
My computer's showing Washington, D.C. for some strange reason. I don't know why. I'm definitely not a Fed.
So,
Swear to God. 39 mostly cloudy, so it's not too terrible.
You could be a Fed. Like, really, nobody really chats about anything the Feds would care about in this chat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd report to your handler and they'd be like, what were they talking about? And you'd be like, they were talking about banging really fat chicks. At which case, your boss would be like, look, we need to put you on someone else.
All right.
Yeah, because
It was a typical hog hunt, sir. That's all it was.
that's just what they were doing. And he'd be like, okay, yeah, you need to go look at something else.
Yeah.
You know, I've only seen one of them, and it was in Kentucky, and she was not overweight, but for some reason her teeth were black.
Oof.
They were all there, and they didn't look rotten, but they were black.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a genetic issue or she just ate a lot of anthracite.
Who knows?
You know,
I don't know, but maybe it's drugs, some kind of weird drugs. Who knows?
Well, she wasn't all methed out and everything. I mean, ass costs whenever he shows up, he slept with her.
Oh. Oh no.
But yeah, black teeth. Now, I know in parts of Asia, they dye their teeth black because it's a beauty standard.
They haven't done that in centuries. That's like old samurai movie shit where they got the black teeth.
But I don't think they do that in like.
I think that was a geisha thing, wasn't it?
I think nobles did it too.
Eh,
Let me
We lost
see here.
James.
Oh no. Now we're going to look at the black dyed teeth of Japan.
I'll be back if I'm not. I'll say we're having an issue.
Ohaguro is an ancient Japanese practice prevalent in the Heian. Oh, wow. So 8th to 12th century through Edo periods, where women and sometimes men dyed their teeth black as a sign of beauty, maturity, and marital status. If you want to see a more modern version of it, though, watch that second Dune movie, because they had Fade with those black teeth. Oof,
Yeah.
that's some creepy shit.
Yeah. PB, I'll tell you, that was a monumental waste. Fade
Which one, the
was.
second Dune movie?
Yes. The second Dune movie should not have tried to rush till the end. They should have tucked their time because God knows in the Dune books there's plenty of shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Fade should have been in more than one of the movies. He should have been built up to be, you know, like the scene where he's in the middle of the arena
Mm-hmm.
and there should have been more of that. More of Fade trying to seduce. Well, he did actually sleep with Count Finring's wife.
Yeah.
Which is why they were there for his birthday, because they're trying to get his bloodline or some shit.
Yeah.
But I could have seen more of him and maybe a little less of that wiener that played Paul. And definitely a lot less of Zendaya because she's horrible.
She's not an actress. I tried to explain that to my niece. She was like, why do you keep saying that? And I was like, she's awful. She's not an actress. She does that same furrowed brow, I've got to take a shit look for everything. And it's just like, ugh, you're just awful.
You are not wrong. But what really aggravated me is they were trying to girl boss her.
Yeah.
And it's
And
like if you read the book,
Yeah.
Chani absolutely adored the ground Paul walked on.
Right.
She would have died for him in an instant. She loved him. She didn't question him. She didn't fuck around and be all like, oh, that's just Southern superstition. We don't believe. Fuck off.
Which is fucking horseshit, because her dad was Pardo Kynes in the book, who they thought was the first Lisan al-Gaib, because he was the imperial planetologist that came and was trying to green Dune. So that's why he was like the first almost kind of prophet for them. So for her to be like, I'm a refined city girl from New York Dune.
Yeah,
and
right?
I know this is all religious bullshit. And it's like, oh, you mean like your dad who they made into your mom in the fucking movie?
Right?
Yeah, when they started trying to clown what's his name with Stilgar, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this second movie. Naturally, Stellan Skarsgård shows up and hurt, blows out his back carrying most things. But yeah, there was some of the actors in there that were just like, these guys are awful.
Was it
Awful.
a Skarsgård that played
He
Fate?
played no, it was he played the Baron Harkonnen.
Oh yeah. That's another character you only get to see like 10 minutes in both movies.
Yeah,
And it's
and that's why I liked him in the miniseries. The even though the miniseries felt like a
in the miniseries.
Yeah, he was in all kinds of parts of the miniseries. Even though that one felt like it was like a German high school play in certain aspects. You're like, I don't know about the costume design here,
didn't
but
have the budget it needed.
Yeah.
If you had some of the really good actors, but that script exactly, that would blow people's wigs back. But my thought, and I could be totally wrong, and you guys can call me a dickhead for saying it, is in the miniseries, they depicted the Baron Harkonnen as the foppish, into excess, blatantly homosexual that liked young boys, always dressed in the finest garb and ate the finest food. He was basically a representation. He was in the book to represent like greed and selfishness and overindulgence. And that's why in the book he talks so much. Because you'll notice some of the characters, they don't talk very much. They do things. And some of the other characters, they talk all the time, but rarely do shit. And Frank Herbert was trying to showcase that,
Right.
And but in the modern era, depicting anyone on television as both homosexual and evil would immediately get your show completely screwed. No one's going to do that. They would be afraid of actually casting. Like, I know you got to remember this then when Fade tried to murder the Baron.
Yeah, they had it in the
hiding
miniseries.
a poison needle in the inner thigh of a young boy.
Yep.
And then the Baron invites him in and makes him kiss the ring and swear never to try and kill him again. And then as punishment, Fade had to go and kill his entire harem of women that he slept with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Baron told him point blank, "You're good material, and I hate to waste good material.
Right.
Do we understand each other?" And Fade was like, tuck his hand and kiss the ring, because the Baron was letting him know right then, "I will have you killed."
Yeah.
And
that was why I was like, miniseries scored those points. Like, the problem was David Lynch's Dune came first, so people are just like, one, they kiss the ground that David Lynch walks on, which is like, he's a good director, he's creative, not with other people's properties, as was shown by his fucking Dune movie. And it's just, they just strayed way too far from Dune. Like, it's a wacky thing. Sure, it looks a lot like Flash Gordon because it's the same production company, and I think they were Spanish. Or no, De Laurentiis. No, I think they were Spanish.
De Laurentiis was, I think, maybe Spanish, and another one he worked with a lot was Greek.
Yeah, and it just
that
just
was the
shit.
guy who got Conan the Barbarian going. I think he was Greek, and he produced it.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, here's the thing with David Lynch. A lot of people adore David Lynch. My favorite thing he's ever done was Twin Peaks season 1 and Twin Peaks season 3. Twin Peaks season 2 was garbage. I could have cared less about it. And then I think it's called Black Velvet or some shit like that. Oh my God.
Blue Velvet. Yeah.
Blue Velvet.
With what's her name?
That was a crazy fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah, with who was that? Frankie, played by Dennis Hopper. He's got the
and you had
oxygen tank
as the kid.
Yeah, and then that Isabella Rossellini was in it as I forgot what the hell it was. Yeah,
as the hot chick.
Yeah,
because she is always playing the hot chick, no matter where she is. Isabella Rossellini is always the hot chick. She's been typecast by God. So, I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. But so yeah, I think he did Strange Highways, which I liked, even though
Lost Highway. Yeah.
Lost Highway. To this day, I'm still not 100% sure. Like, was that one guy chasing him the devil or a demon? I mean, it's like, I don't know, but it was interesting. But really,
Yeah,
his best work was Twin Peaks season 1.
Right.
That is the pinnacle of David Lynch.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching, what was that, Mulholland Drive? I think, is that the one that he did? That's about like Hollywood movie making. I sat down to watch the DVD of that,
Yeah.
and they inserted like a hint book because you wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. You're like, oh, David Lynch wrote down like, hey, here's 20 things to look out for. And even with that, you're still like, I kind of think I know what the hell is happening. I really don't, but yeah.
Really don't though. Like,
interesting movies. Hey, good on them. It's like I say, it's like with music. Like there's a place for people like Devo or Primus or Frank Zappa, stuff like that wacky shit that's on the fringe. And it's like, that's perfectly fine. At least it's not like all the bog standard bullshit that gets stamped out that just like is not worth even wasting your time listening to,
yeah,
And it's good those weird creative people are out there to kind of mix things up. But
freaking Reverend Horton Heat.
yeah. I forgot. Yeah, exactly.
Just like, yeah. I loved in Twin Peaks, one of my favorite things was the fact that Lynch was actually in the show and he was deaf as shit. Everybody had to yell at him for him to hear anything except for the waitress in that one restaurant. I don't know if you noticed or who noticed, but if you ever watch it again, every time he's in the restaurant with Kyle MacLachlan's character, right? Detective, whatever, everyone's having to yell at him and he's got that box thing or whatever. And then the waitress comes up and she's like, would you like coffee? And he's like, yes, I'd love coffee. It's just like, how can he hear her, but no one else? Yeah. And the crazy old lady carrying the log around, which I sometimes think is where Ed, and Eddie got the idea of the kid that carried the plank of wood around.
Probably.
Like there could be a connection there, I mean? And what did she say? The owls don't always say what they mean or some shit. And you're just sitting there like, what?
Yeah, all right.
Like, now I want to know what the owls mean. But no one ever tells you ever again. So you just got to deal with it because that's really where David Lynch goes head and shoulders above a lot of actors is when he's in a show where he can like just say weird shit but never explain it.
Right.
And then everybody spends like the next 30 years trying to figure the fuck what was going on. Yeah, the owls are not what they seem. Thank you, Just Passerby.
Well, he had some fun cameos. Like what's his name? Louis C.K. had that one show. I forget. I think it was on HBO. I forget which. No, it was on FX. I think that was a second show, and he was trying out for because the rumor was that Letterman was not going to carry on with the Late Show. So he was trying to be the trying out for the new host for it, and he went to a really old TV producer, and it was David Lynch playing some other guy, but it was just funny the way he was going through the whole interview process. Made him tell who killed Laura. He wasn't going to. Yeah. The fan base for Twin Peaks is crazy. People have been following that forever, and that's that's awesome. It's great when a TV show has that kind of following. That shows that it really kind of it actually connected with people. As opposed to like, I don't know, just the shit that's on TV these days.
Well, the thing is that, in my opinion, he left so much shit ambiguous that if you're the kind of person that just really wants to know what the F is going on, Twin Peaks will trap you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the hell is going on. And then you will spend, like you said, the next 30 years of your life trying to figure out what the hell was even, like the people eating the freaking misery, but it's like cream corn.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah.
who are these assholes? You know, and it's like, and so much of it was just left like, yeah, just do what you want.
Well, that's cool because then like people have to talk to each other because you only understand it through your own kind of perspective, and then somebody else might be like, this reminds me of X, Y, and Z. Kind of like how what was that the second Batman movie, The Dark Knight, with what's his name as the Joker who passed away? I forget what is Heath Ledger.
Ledger.
Yeah, because he was doing that thing where he's licking his lips, and I didn't learn until recently that's because like the prosthetic he was wearing kind of feathered into his mouth, so the glue was coming loose. So he was always kind of like licking it to keep it down and stuff. But a buddy of mine who was he would go to like prisons for psychiatry work and stuff like that. And guys, there was a certain schizophrenic medication that was like, those guys would always be doing that because it left like this weird sour taste in their mouth. So he was like, I think this is what it means and all that. And then it just turns out, no, it was just because the makeup was coming loose.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see that perspective of like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe he's just a crazy schizophrenic. And that was what was cool about the character of the Joker is he always would change. He would change his, criminally it would, But then again, he kind of, he was never a mastermind. He just did off the wall shit, So it was an interesting character where you were really kind of like trying to nail down his backstory, and then you realized it didn't matter.
It's funny that you bring that up because when I watched the show the very first time, him constantly licking his lips is what made me think that guy is crazy. And not like a little crazy, but like real full blown, not even on this plane of existence crazy, right? Yeah. Because Heath Ledger was a good actor anyway, but he'd be talking and every now and then he'd just be like, and you're like, this is like the kind of guy you'd see on a corner in New York with a sign screaming at pigeons. It's like, yeah,
instead he makes crazy plans to rob a bank that really shouldn't have worked.
It did work though, because it always works because he's the Joker. It's the point.
Because it's a movie, and if you don't have it work, then you don't have a movie.
No, Tim, with your constantly trying to black pill everything and be a downer.
No black pilling. I'm just saying.
The Joker, his plans always work because he's powered by insanity. Okay? That's just a rule.
Fair.
And the only one who can ever stop the Joker is Batman. Because no one else in fucking Gotham City can stop him. He can basically do anything he wants. Only the Batman can put an end to it. Except for that one comic where Superman came to Gotham and dressed up like the Batman.
The only one that can truly stop the Joker is the Flash.
Well, Superman.
Anybody with somebody with a gun. Would really do it. That was the whole point behind I think Kingdom Come, the comic, was they had the 90s heroes were showing up, and these were guys who all looked like, they looked like Cable, where they were half cybernetic with all pouches and shit on them. And the thing that really kind of brought it into view was like, they had a trial for the Joker. One of them just showed up and shot him while he was on the stand because they were like, fuck this. Why you keep letting this guy out, and he poison gassed half a city. Just kill him and he'll never do it again. So it was about the morality of like 90s heroes in the previous generation of it. It was a cool little book. Probably the only thing that Mark Waid wrote that's really worth reading. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I know it's cross genre, but okay, the Joker versus Deadpool wouldn't be very exciting. One, they're both crazier than shit. Two, Deadpool would just kill him. He'd just jump in there and either cut him apart with katanas or just put a 50 cal round in him and move on about his way.
Right.
Probably have sex with Harley Quinn. I mean,
She's just crazy broad. That's all she is.
I was reading something and apparently she ended up having Batman's baby or some shit.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I know
some new thing, or they, how they're constantly making.
Probably, I think the last one that I know was Talia al Ghul, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, took Bruce's DNA and had a child.
I don't know why they do it.
That was Damian Wayne, yeah.
Nope, we lost James again.
Oh no!
She
But I've heard a story about the Joker trying to fight the Flash, and it didn't work out for the Joker.
well, the Flash can honestly, you know what? I'm not going down this road with you, Tim.
Okay.
Well, the Flash has a weird rogues gallery. What does he have? He has like a telepathic gorilla and a guy with a really big brain. It's like his villains are just oddball.
You're
And that's why
forgetting
people.
the Joker clone, Captain Boomerang, and Mr. Freeze. Or not Mr. Freeze. I think it was like King Cold.
Captain Cold.
Captain Cold. Yeah, Captain Cold. That was it.
I agree,
Yeah.
Just. But
Mirror
this
Master.
started out as talking about David Lynch effing everything up, and it very nearly got into the realm of Timmy wanting to compare superhero power levels, and I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, where do you end? I mean,
Never.
never.
end.
It never ends. That's what I'm saying. I mean, whatever you say, I say something, then you say the next thing, and ultimately, in the end, we end up with Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, but and see, that's the problem.
And then maybe not even him. I don't know. There might be a lot more powerful guys out there than him.
Well, Dr. Manhattan was based on God. So it's like, it's kind of hard to go, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, well, Dr. Manhattan would do this. And it's like, no, because in the comic, he did jack shit. So he wouldn't do anything. Doesn't matter how fucking powerful he was. He was the God from Paradise Lost. He was there. He just didn't use his powers. He used his powers like once or twice throughout the entire book. Even the comedian told him, he's like, you could have saved me from getting stabbed in the face, but you didn't. You just stood there and watched. And that was the point of the character. He's this kind of uncaring God. So,
and that is why my buddy, my pal, I won't say fellow Chicagoan because I'm not from Chicago, but the comedian I always felt was the best character in the show. Even though you only really see him in flashbacks and in the very beginning getting chucked out of a fucking building, but
yeah.
I think the comedian's the only one who really understood what a person like Dr. Manhattan existing in your universe means.
Right.
It's just like, but again, that's just a whatever. My wife loves that movie though. So we watch it pretty much quite a bit when she's just looking for something to watch. So yeah, I'm pretty up on the movie and I own all the comics.
Yeah.
But the guy who wrote it though is just pure insane. Like he is crazy on a pogo stick. What's his name? Moore. Like in real life, he thinks he's a wizard.
Yeah,
and
he writes
come out and said that if he knew that grown adults would have read Watchmen, he never would have wrote it.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have written some other bullshit and thought he was
like,
the fucking finest thing that literacy ever created. Yeah, that guy, he's a bum. All right, Alan Moore wrote some cool, funny books. That's great. He's not, fucking William Shakespeare or Mark Twain. He's a weirdo that thinks he's some kind of chaos magician. So
yeah,
maybe one day he'll pull his head out of his ass.
To me, that is just so strange,
Yeah. And
but like the other day
really
on Double D's show, RPG Pundit was there, and I accused RPG Pundit of doing magic for Assad, and that he's the reason cavefish have no eyeballs. And that all he eats is durian, so he smells like a corpse.
He's some kind of jungle necromancer.
Yeah, he was like, cool. If you don't know the RPG Pundit, I mean, half of that you're not gonna. But he's a Canadian who thinks he's a wizard who moved to Uruguay.
Yeah.
With his cats. And he told me, though, that he has actually done work for intelligence agencies with because they wanted him to, like, I don't know, do some far vision bullshit or something.
Oh,
And to be brutally honest, I believe him.
Hey, Squirrel Hermit.
I believe him because pretty good. How you doing, Andre? I believe him because that's the kind of shit I know for a fact the FBI and CIA get down with, you know. So like if some CIA guy was like, hey, this guy thinks he's a wizard, they'd be like, okay, let's pay him some money and see if he can't, you know, spy on something or guess the card or make a goat die or some shit, you know.
right.
And it's like, he makes some good games, though. I absolutely love his Baptism of Fire series,
Mhm.
but no one at my table wants to play a game set in the real world with real world religion and everything like that. And as much as it disappoints me, I also remember many, many people saying you need to keep real life stuff out of the game. And this is a game that's literally based on real life stuff, you know?
Right.
You know, you can play a crusader, you can play like all this different stuff. And yeah, I love it. A lot of people, I don't know. And his Viking game is really good too. But again, real life stuff. You're playing, you know, Vikings.
So your players that want to play it.
So my wife didn't want to play the Viking game either. I bust Hyperborea out and she's like, Viking Berserker.
Mhm.
Okay. You know, it's like, I mean, obviously I was going to make her whatever character she wanted, but, you know, I was pretty surprised when she went Berserker because she rarely plays warrior types. She almost always plays like healers and shit. But whatever.
I play whatever I can.
You do,
Magic.
and whenever you can.
Users. Yeah. Magic users, warriors.
Yeah,
support.
I actually like every one of the pundits' products pretty much. But the thing I like even more than that is effing with the pundit. Like, you know, when we're on X, sometimes I'll tell him to he needs to take his freaking Scooby-Doo scarf off and freaking whatever because he wears an ascot sometimes.
Yeah. He dresses like a Time Lord.
Yeah, and it's like there is no ill will in my heart for RPG Pundit, except that every now and then I just like to F with it a little bit. My love is like a truck berserker. Yeah, this is my cousin. What was it? Olaf. He's from Russia. He wants to be a metal band. One thing I know about Slavic mythology as it opposes to, or as it compares to actual, like playing a role-playing game is, under no circumstances camp, go near, look at, or in any way acknowledge rivers, ponds, lakes. If it's a body of water, yeah, send a servant to get the water because any body of water can spell just death. And every monster wants to drink your blood. There's like 20 kinds of vampire. And they're all different.
Yeah. Looking at this list, trying to sign up for what is this, Gary? Now GaryCon 18 that we're looking at here. And I want to sign up. Like, I see Avengers running games, but man, he ran a Call of Cthulhu game that we signed up for, and it was set for 4 hours. He ran an hour and a half and called it quits. And I was like, that's pretty fucking weak, dude.
Yeah, that's lame.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He shortchanged you.
He shortchanged
And for
us.
those of you who don't know, it's because every river could have a Rusalka of Oldenoy. Just anything horrible thing that as soon as you walk up to the river, it's going to enchant you, drag you in, and eat you.
Beware of water, for it is death.
Yeah.
Could have
Where
real
the
shit
deep
too, like a
forest,
gar.
because
Or,
the spirits in the deep forest aren't friends to you either. As a matter of fact, just stay in your fucking village.
Yeah.
And if you gotta go somewhere, stay on the road.
Stay in
Because-
civilization because that's where it's best.
Because 9th century Slavic mythology, that's basically what they believe. If you had to go somewhere, stay on the effing road. Don't go off through the road or off the road. Because something out there wants to kill you at all times. And whatever you do, don't have premarital sex. Because if you get pregnant and then you decide to abort the fetus, which women can help you, and you bury the fetus without proper Christian ritual, it'll come back and hunt you down and kill you. It becomes basically like a fetal vampire.
Vengeful fetus.
Yeah, a vengeful fetus because of what you did. As a matter of fact, half of the things in there, like the monsters and shit, are about not whoring around. Because if you're a promiscuous person, the monsters will get like bonuses to fuck you over. And then the vengeful fetus, which is called a paranich, I believe, paranich, it can curse a pure virginal woman with promiscuity. So not only can it come to your house, cause wind magic to blow your barn down so that all of your livestock dies in the winter, but then it can make your pure and Christian sister a whore. And it's all because you're an idiot. The Witcher 3 had a plot line about that. I've never played any of the Witcher movies, Dean. And hey, Dean.
Games
doing,
and
bro?
movies, but yeah.
But that's actually a real Slavic monster, for sure.
Yeah, the Witcher games have a lot of Slavic monsters in it.
Well, the fact that it's set in a mythological Poland, I would say yeah.
Yeah, it's obvious, but yeah.
But I mean, the names aren't the same though. Like I think in the Polish they call that monster as describing like a Luchi or something like that. Yeah. Anytime a baby died unbaptized, it's a real freaking problem. And you got to do shit to get that shit handled, or not all the time. It's very rare, but when that rare thing happens, hey, you're effed. Your family's effed. Everybody's effed. It's just a bad thing. And then the other thing, though, if you have a baby die, but it was baptized and everything, you can bury it under the entryway of your house, and there's a chance that the baby spirit will become a domovoi, which is a very positive, good house spirit. You know, basically like the gnomes that come out at night and fix your boots. But if you disrespect the domovoi, then it'll tear your shit up. You'll wake up in the morning and your whole house will be just turned over, you know, like everything everywhere, because you pissed them off. Now, I think the domovoi story might even be super pre-Christian, but whatever. Oh, shit. Okay, that I was reading that and I was like, what the hell is Dean talking about? But now I get it. I understand. You're drawing the connection to why in The Witcher a thing happened.
Pretty serious.
I guess that could cause it to happen. You know? So,
Yeah.
So, let me ask you something. So what are you into right now, PB?
Fridays are kind of up in the air here. My buddy's called off for the second week in a row. I'm kind of worried because his mom, like, she took a fall a couple weeks ago, so he's been kind of taking time off to watch her. Hopefully she's doing okay. But other than that, I've been planning to run. Let's see if I got the main book here. reading up on Aegon. It's pretty cool. It's like a Greek heroic fantasy game. But fantasy in that it doesn't have any fucking elves because it's Greek. So there you go. I like it. But there's the guy that created it did a kind of play set that you could run it in called Storm Furies, which is almost like a Wing Commander, Battlestar Galactica, space fighter thing. So I was thinking I'm going to run that, see how it works, because I want to do some sci-fi. I haven't, like, every time I'm like, I'm thinking of running a sci-fi game, and people are like, why don't you do what's that one, Star Frontiers? And it's like, I don't have the books. I haven't played that in like
Star
30 years.
Frontiers, Traveler, that's the ones you.
Yeah, they named Star Frontiers, Traveler, Star Trek, Star Wars, blah, 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 and I'm like, I just don't. I don't want to run like any of those worlds. I think is the thing. I wanted to have it be, you're going out in space for an adventure. You're not doing the usual player thing where it's like you're going out in space to make money to buy things. It's like, I don't give a shit about making money and buying things. Like, especially in D&D, that stuff always comes up, and it's like, why is this the focus? Like, we're getting gold to buy shit. I don't care. I just want to be on adventures like Conan. Like, he would lose an axe and it was gone and that was it. It didn't matter. But like in D&D, it's like, well, it's part of the leveling up that you need to get like +3, +5 axes so you can fight a Tarrasque and then someday fight God. You can beat up God. Like that, the whole deities and demigods, I think that's such a stupid idea. Why would you give statistics to gods?
No, I always thought, no, there's a certain point where it just like, yeah, no, you're not fighting gods,
Yeah.
right?
I'll whip out the Call of Cthulhu book that I have, where Cthulhu kills D4 of you a turn. That's how the fight goes. You're fighting a god. I'm gonna out arm wrestle Hercules or whatever. No, these guys will kill you. That's why they're legends and you're nothing.
Right.
Hercules. Not
Hercules also, asshole. One's Greek, one's Latin.
It's the same guy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Also,
the same guy.
it is.
Yeah.
I know,
Also, Timmy, the reason I yell at you is because in this particular case, bear in mind, brother, no one likes being corrected like that.
I know. I'm sorry.
Being Mr. Corrector is a good way to just make people hate your guts.
I did find it funny though.
And you're from Kentucky. You got no right to correct anybody. You barely speak English yourself.
That's true.
That's right. Tighten up. Straighten out in every sense of the word.
Bunch of neat stuff in which game there, Squirrel Hermit?
Yes, Squirrel Hermit's talking about Witcher 3.
Yeah, Witcher 3.
I've never played the Witcher games, and I always thought about it, and then I always went back to playing Ark Survival Evolved or whatever.
I thought about it, then I tried one of CD Projekt Red's other games, and I wasn't impressed.
Well,
I still have to finish their Cyberpunk game. I was playing.
That's the one I wasn't really impressed
I was like,
with.
This is okay, but how have they not come up with a multiplayer game for these yet? Like, seriously, they came up with that Shadowrun Returns and all these other cool Cyberpunk games. It's like, can we get the multiplayer one so then we can go on runs and do cool stuff? It's like, no.
Hang out with our buds.
Yeah, hang out with friends instead of doing this random lobby PvP shooter nonsense that they've milked for, 20 years now?
Not to mention, I wish that they would do a little bit better at making the characters better, and game looking better.
Yeah.
Stylized.
Well, everybody does.
Hey,
Hello,
Deepak.
everyone. So basically, my review of the Witcher games, and that's all free, not like what happens in it, but like how they are kind of to play, is imagine that there is a popular RPG at the time. Imagine someone makes something that is similar, but like half a step below, and then like they put themselves in opposition with a what do you call it, advertising campaign with like basically we are better. That's how the Witcher games are. So like they're basically like the games that came out at the time, slightly worse but still good. But if you look at the advertisement at the time, they basically shit talk the competition.
Well, I think that from what I remember when Witcher 1 came out, it was like all of the guys online that talk about games just loved it. They were just like head over heels for that game.
Yeah.
But I don't think I had a computer that could run it. So I was playing a lot of Minecraft back then. and then I just, since I never got on the bandwagon, I just never got on the bandwagon. But
Yeah.
I know
And,
Pondsmith has a Witcher role-playing game. It uses all the rules that Cyberpunk Red uses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if people want to play that, if it's using the rules of Cyberpunk Red, then that game is deadly.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
Cyberpunk Red, you can get your whole face blown off, like right off the bat. Just boom, make a new character.
oh, I thought you were about to say that like it almost never got anything released for it. Which is
I
also
don't know if
true.
it did or not, because the only reason I even know it exists is down here, and I assume in every other place. Our comic books once a year do like a game day thing, and they give you like a little magazine format thing that will give you the very basics of a game and a very basic adventure. So that's how I got like the Conan. And I mean, this thing will only be like 12, 16 pages long, but it'll be the one I got for Conan was Conan Fighting Deep Ones. And then my pops actually got the Witcher one, because everybody gets one, and then that bastard kept it too. I was like, hey man, let me have that Witcher thing. He's like, no. And then one year I went in and they had this very like beginners Call of Cthulhu thing they gave out. But they generally had like a box, and it would have like all of these little things made by all these different companies. And you walk up and be like, I want my free game. And they just hand you whatever. So you didn't get to choose. They just be
was
like,
that for
free
RPG Day? Was that what it was for? Okay. Yeah.
And my local Costima Comics was huge on that shit.
Yeah.
You'd walk in there and the place would be packed, and you'd be like, yay, give me the free RPG, and boom.
Yeah, it's weird around here because
never even heard of it.
Sometimes some of the places are like, well, for every $10 you spend, we'll give you a thing. And then there was another place that was like, they gave out an entire set of the things to people that asked for it. And it was like, that cost you money. You just gave it away. Like, you pissed away all your marketing. One store was run very miserly. The other store is like, I'm surprised they're still open. They just threw everything, because I forgot what I was trying to pick up, but I was like, wait, everything's gone? This is like the same. It's only been an hour since you've been open. It's like, oh, we gave it to all our buddies. I'm like, great. I hope they run anything out of there, because that's the thing.
Costume is actually really cool. If they have like free comic book day or free RPG day, they mean it. I mean, but you're not getting the actual RPG. You're getting the, hey, this is kind of what this is about, and here's how.
Yeah, the starter set or something like that.
And their free comic book day, I took my daughters up there because I don't care about comics, but my daughters did. And they gave them a little plastic bag, and each of those bags they gave them had like 4 or 5 comics in it. But most of them were like comics I'd never even fucking heard of, So basically, I think it was just shit off the racks that never sold, and they just shoved it in a bag. Here you go.
Well, I think Free Comic Book Day and Free RPG Day were done through like Diamond Distribution. They were organized through that. So it was the same thing where you could like make a Free Comic Book Day version of your book and they'd print it. And it was like a marketing thing. They'd throw it in a bag for you so that you could get, that's why you never heard of that shit. And it was because it was people trying to sell their book. And hopefully
my daughters thought it was the coolest shit ever. So there you go.
Yeah. And that's why,
they got 4 brand new comics to read,
Right. And that's why when I go, like, if it's something I've already played, I'll leave it there and hopefully somebody will find it and that'll be their, new favorite game forever. But otherwise, I'm like, I don't need the new Werewolf, whatever, the Apocalypse starter set from Renegade Games or any of this shit. I've played it.
I hate to, again, be so miserly, but I'm the kind of guy that after a draft tournament, even though I lost horribly, I would pick up all the lands that everybody just left on the table when they were cracking their packs. And as a result, I still have this huge freaking like 3-row box of just lands.
Yeah.
because they would crack the packs and take what they want out to build their draft deck or whatever, and they just throw whatever lands they weren't going to use on the table for anybody to have, and
Yeah.
and I was anybody, so I had them. You know? It worked out a couple of times, like when I forget which set it was, but it had basically almost full art lands, and people were throwing them out, and then those things ended up being worth $5 a piece, like a month
wow.
later. Yeah, like, all right, but hey, you know,
Cool. I got 500 of them. At
there you go. You can buy a car,
least used to.
but that is a cool story though that you said, Dean Powell. That like makes sense.
Yeah.
The way when I read it, it was basically this woman had gotten pregnant out of wedlock, and she went to basically the healing woman in the village, because there's always one that lives like in the woods, and the woman gave her this potion that caused her to miscarriage the baby,
Yeah.
and then she hid it in the woods and buried it, and then it came back and pretty much destroyed her family's whole farm and just ruined everything.
That is, how the story normally goes. I just don't think The Witcher wanted to go with I don't think they wanted to go that route, so they went with a miscarriage and then integrated it more in the flaws about the man. You can choose to help or not. And yes, they
Well,
do.
because
And yes, they
people
do solve
could,
the monster with turning it into that spirit. Yeah.
people could, right or wrong, they could have went after the company and the writer over, like, they could have said he was demonizing like abortion and women's rights and shit, and he would have heard no end of that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
The Witcher would have been like attacked constantly for, you know,
Actually, when did
Kinda.
the third one come out?
but whatever. You still running your 5e game, Dean?
Nope. I am running Pathfinder First Edition.
Oh, so even freaking worse.
Yes, but we're having fun.
Well, that's good.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm down to one game a week. Not because of health or anything, but just the Saturday game. Too many. So basically, we have an intervention, but like, okay, you players, your health is not good. Let's try these things and see how it goes. And those things didn't work, so we had to call it.
You know, it must be a Danish thing to just, like, do you get an erection whenever you're filling out your tax papers or something? That's obviously a joke, Dean.
I know
Come
it's a joke. I just don't know where you're going with that.
because Saxius is also a Dane, and that dude, it's like the more paperwork, the more like
Pathfinder, gotcha.
Pathfinder, the more complicated it is, blah blah blah, the more, you know. And I know exactly, well, 3 Danes, and they all have this weird got to be on time, got to have all the paperwork done, got to do this, got, you know. And I'm just like, because I married one, so you know, I get to deal with that. And then I'm close friends with Saxius. I've known him online for like 20 years about now.
Okay, that's
And you and I've been chilling for a long time. And it's like the one thing you all have in common is this like love of like very complicated games.
I mean, that is if you look at the Danes and North Germans, math and astrology, actual astrology, not like the prediction stuff, and other hard scientists is something we are very into and have contributed a lot to. So could be that why.
Could just be in your culture. You just like math. Yeah, I'm not, I have opinions, but I'm not going to make fun of you for playing Pathfinder. Shit, if you like Pathfinder, knock yourself out. You know.
I also like Axe, but that doesn't help me beat the allegations of complexity and numbers and
I
spreadsheets.
talked to Macros just 3 days ago, actually. See, now I'm going to like name drop somebody. You know, Alexander Macros, the guy that wrote Axe and Axe 2. Yeah, I was chatting with him just the other day, you know, because
Yeah.
we're laid out like that. But no, and then he asked if I'd bought Axe 2, and I said no. And he's like, why not? And I was like, I don't know. I like Axe 1 so much. I mean, why would I buy Axe 2? And he's like, makes sense. He's like, if you like Axe 1, you just keep your Axe 1, man. He's like, it's not like much change. I was like, well, thank you, brother. You know, but I don't think he's practicing, but he grew up Orthodox.
From what I understand is, and this is of course what I think I remember from podcast and so forth, is he used to be an atheist. His wife had like a period, like some okay, not revelation as in religious sense, but like she had some things going through her life, and she became very religious, and then he also became religious. That's how I think it happened, from what I remember from podcasts.
Well, my wife has said that she is now showing an interest in converting to Orthodoxy because she's pretty pissed off about what the Methodists in America are doing. Like with their, you know, female preachers and all that sort of shit. Because it turns out she's a lot more conservative than even I thought about religion, at least. So, and then John from the Basic Expert, he recently got baptized into the Orthodox Church. And I had another guy who shall remain nameless ask me what the best Bible, you know, to read about Orthodoxy was. And I mean, good for all of them, in my opinion. Not that I'm hating on anybody particularly, but that's how Macros and I started talking, actually, is I heard he was Orthodox. And one Easter, I actually sent, there's a greeting they say in Greek for Easter, right? And it's Christos Anesti. And it means Christ is risen, right? And then the response is basically indeed he has, right? Now in Russian, I believe it's Christos Vokresi, but it's the same thing, right? And so I sent that to him, and somehow or another, we just started talking about shit. Like he sent the response back, and then it was like we become best friends. Not really, but you know what I mean. We started talking about stuff, and you know.
Yeah.
So I like him. A lot of people, like I was on a tear for a while with Ben at Questing Beast because he was hating on Adventure Conqueror King because Alexander for a while had managed some business for Milo Yiannopoulos.
Oh yeah, I know what happened there. So basically, what happened is Milo wanted to do a tour and stuff, so he needed like a corporation to do that.
Right.
So like they could manage the money, and then Macris was asked to or hired rather to manage that in the form of like the business and contact and so forth. And that was apparently not his best time in life, but it also made him get canceled.
Well, it was because Milo, at one point, he was talking about what happened to him as far as a kid, and it had to do with a priest, etc.
Yeah.
And I guess it would have been all good, except he said, in all honesty, he didn't mind it or something. And that's when Milo went from being kind of the darling of like the weird right. Because I don't know if I would call him the right. He was the weird right, though, you know? And he got canceled, and everybody involved with him got canceled. But yep, see, Andre's saying it. He's saying, see, why? Well, I know why. Because I used to hang out with my brother-in-law a lot, and he's Serbian, and they say the Christos part, but they kind of drop the K, and they kind of lean hard into the H. Or maybe that was just he had a speech impediment, but yeah.
You never know in that area of the world.
Huh?
You never know in that area of the world. Like the Baltic region.
Oh no. My brother-in-law, he I think is in Chicago. I've never been to the Balkans.
Okay, so I misheard you earlier, my bad.
No, my brother-in-law is Serbian, but he lives in America, and he's up in Chicago because he drives tractor trailers for a Russian company. Because believe it or not, Chicago is full of Slavs. Like, you have whole like neighborhoods where everyone in that neighborhood is Polish, and they actually speak Polish, and you've got Russians and all of the Slavic groups. They basically all kind of hang out together, even if they don't normally like each other that much. But they all accept that they're Slavs, and plus you can mostly understand each other, you know. Like if you're a Serbian, you can talk to a Russian, and for the most part, you can get whatever you're trying to say through, you know, because the languages are pretty close. Which, I mean, you missed my history lesson on what happened to all those people that used to live there before the Slavs came in. Dean? Or maybe you didn't.
I did. Simi, did you listen back then?
Nope, I missed it too.
Well, I'll keep it super quick. It turns out that the Slavic language, which is a blend of multiple languages, was so easy to learn that people like the Thracians, the Scythians, the Kurgan, etc., that had lived all in that region there, adopted the Slavic language and then adopted the Slavic culture. So what we think of as a Slav is actually a combination of many ancient people, including Cimmerians, frickin' you name it. And it's basically because the Slavic language united them. I mean, think about it. The first Kievan Rus were actually Swedes. And instead of forcing their people to speak Swedish, they started speaking Slavic, you know, which would go on to one day be modern Russian, except for the ones that settled in Poland. The reason the Polish version of Slavic is so weird is they integrated a lot of like Scythians and various other like plains horsemen into the language. So that's why you got like weird Z's and umlauts and weird shit in Polish.
Yeah, that, and also they don't want to adopt the Cyrillic.
Right. So that's the whole thing. People are always like, all these scientists forever were like, where did the Slavs come from? It's like during this whole period, there are no Slavs, and all of a sudden, everyone's a Slav. And it turns out it was basically the language, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's really kind of a simple thing. And also, I didn't know this, but now I do for a fact. The asshole who I absolutely loved from Highlander, Clancy Brown's character, those guys were real. The Kurgan that supposedly threw their children into pits to fight for meat with dogs and shit. Not only were they a real actual people, but part of the Polish language is influenced by Kurgans. And to this day, in the south west of Russia, there is an oblast called Kurganstan, which is where they ended up. So, yeah. See, you'll never watch that movie the same again, because every time you see Clancy Brown ride in with his armor covered in skulls and shit, you'll be like, that guy existed. And like everyone hated them. And their society was literally based around cruelty. Like they had no concept of like mercy or not just being total dicks. And that's why their little place is small, because eventually they got ran, out of the region because they were just assholes.
So I have a question. Why do we don't we remember them, but we remember the Vandals?
Because the Vandals effed up Rome,
Fair
and
enough.
Spain, and North Africa. And I mean, for whatever reason, if you're from Western Europe, if it involves Rome, you know about it. It was documented. People talk about all the time, whatever. For most of Russia's history, before they got an alphabet, I mean, you told stories around a campfire, but, so by the time the actual Rus drove the Kurgan basically almost to extinction, they never wrote it down. They just, and once it was done, they left the survivors in that region they were in and basically told them to stay there or get wrecked.
Yeah.
And they drifted out history. And they just, stopped being a thing. But when you wreck the most powerful empire in the world, yeah, you get a plaque on the wall, And that's what happened with the Vandals, the Goths, and the various other Germans. Like my good homie Vince, his last name is Lombardo.
Yeah.
Well, one of the tribes that wrecked the hell out of Rome was the Lombards.
Yeah, basically Lombards were somewhat the barbarian inheritors that they call them, who after Rome didn't have a good time, it got sacked and so forth, some tribes came north and settled there and wanted to be Roman.
Right.
But then they had some succession issues, and also the East Roman had a policy: if we can't have it, no one can have it, which make it very hard to fight a war against.
Well, that's why you're talking about the period when Emperor Justinian sent Flavius Belisarius back to Italy to reconquer it.
Yeah.
Which he did, but he couldn't hold it. So, it's like no sooner did he load his army up and head to North Africa to put the stomp on those assholes, the Lombards took Rome.
I'm going to have to go. I'll see you.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Have a great one, Tim. Thanks for joining.
Oh.
But let me fix that. But there you go. Destroy the world's greatest empire. Be remembered throughout history, especially again since that empire had a bunch of scribes and etc. that knew how to write. So, versus living in a snow-covered forest and just talking shit around a beer here and there or whatever.
Yeah, it's sometimes surprising that that there's people living in the Ukraine, White Russia area. When you think about how hot their summers are and how cold the winters are.
just from listening to the folk music, Dean, the Russians that live in that region love it. Like, for whatever reason, Russians are constantly writing love songs to Russia. Like, no matter how cold or hot or swampy or effed up it is, they just, a lot of them just love it. The way I love Kentucky, even though Kentucky's weather's schizophrenic. And where I live, it's nothing but rocks and cliffs and shit. So really easy to die, but I love it because it's, as the Russians would say, my rodinia, which does not translate to English.
Fair enough. But yes, I do remember you telling stories about the cliff and stone and so forth, like how you and Hunger would go out camping and.
Oh yeah, do stuff that we literally should have died, but we did it anyway because we were dumbasses.
Yeah.
You know, climb up in caves without telling anyone else on the planet we were doing it.
And forgetting camping equipment and so forth.
Yeah.
Oh, at least it's harp.
And one thing that happened, if Hungar was here, he would attest. We went camping and it was nice and hot. And the thing with Kentucky weather is you can literally get every season within 1 week. So we went fishing, went to bed under in a shallow cave. You know what I mean? Very shallow cave, built a fire at the mouth of it, etc. Woke up, the lake was froze over. Like, we all thought we were dying because we'd only took like a relatively thin blanket and we hadn't dressed for the weather.
Yeah.
And it just went from like 80 degrees to like below 32 overnight. Just boom.
Yeah, something similar can happen like in Central Europe, you know, like Austria, Hungary, and so forth. Bulgaria also. They also have like schizophrenic weather like that.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you've never visited Kentucky, but you have visited Serbia, you know what Kentucky is like. You know, if you're in the mountainous part of it, it's basically, I mean, you know. And I would say the Balkans are pretty much Europe's rednecks and hillbillies.
That
like
is correct.
All of them. They're just like, if they were speaking English, you could drop them in the middle of Eastern Kentucky or anywhere in Appalachia at all, and they would fit right in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I totally agree with them being the redneck. Not in like a derogatory sense, but like they do have that like wild man what do you call it? Not instinct, but wild man cultivated wild man about them because they constantly had to deal with the Ottomans and the like.
Right. So, you know, like my bro who never talks about the Yugoslavian wars, even though he is about of an age where, you know, and I'm not going to pester him about it, but yeah, he's like, he grew up in the country, you know, on the side of a hill. They, you know, they eat a lot of like the same type, like sausages and stuff and Boric. And it's like, you know, I'm just sitting here being like, damn, man, how similar we are, you know. But I don't know. If I ever get to go on vacation before I die, I already had planned, my wife and I, to go on vacation to St. Petersburg. And then this war kicked off. So I'm kind of hoping the Russians will hurry up so everything can calm down and I can go visit the cathedrals at St. Petersburg and Moscow. Like, I would love to see in real life, like St. Basil's Cathedral and stuff like that.
When did that get changed back to its original name? Because I thought it was Leningrad.
Under the Soviets, they renamed a bunch of cities, and as soon as the Soviet Union fell, they named them right back.
Okay, so back in the 90s, gotcha.
So yeah, Leningrad is not Leningrad. St. Petersburg.
I shall refrain from asking where that is.
Stalingrad, I believe, is Volgograd or something like that, because it's right near, I think, the Volga River. I mean, Moscow was always Moscow,
Yeah.
and always will be Moscow. Moscow.
It's kind of hard to rename a place if you don't want Ivan, that Ivan, to to come back and slap you across the face.
Well, the thing about that too, Dean, is that, and I know this is not really game related, guys. Apologies. Stalin absolutely hated Ivan, first Tsar of all of Russia.
Yeah.
And he made movies and propaganda and all kinds of shit to kind of, like, the reason people call Ivan the Terrible is Stalin. Stalin invented that shit. Before Stalin, he was Ivan the Great.
The way I've been told is what do you call it? In the West, he was called Ivan the Terrible because of his later insanity, and that's what the English, the French, and the Germans like to focus on. But everyone else called him the Great.
Yeah, like, I don't know. You could be right. I do know this. What the English and French and everybody probably knew about Russia, let alone the Tsar, was probably not much.
And that's totally fair because
But he was kind of a freak. He had his secret police, and he was always watching, and he pushed the borders of Russia all the way to frickin' China. And
yeah, there was a reason the Golden Horde didn't stand a chance.
well, what happened with the Golden Horde is, one, they converted to Islam. Two, their chief died, so they all had to go back to Mongolia to vote in a new chief. And by the time they figured that bullshit out and came back to Europe, they just got effed in the A, because the Europeans had all that time to practice that different kind of warfare.
Yeah.
So when they were fighting the Russians were fighting like they did, except with better equipment. So
yeah.
These hordes of Mongols would roll in with their short recurve bows on horseback, and what would they see? The Druzina, which is basically like Russian Huskarls or House Guards, also on horseback with recurve bows, except wearing better armor. Yeah. And so that become a thing.
Also having more horses better bred for war and not just endurance.
Right. Plus, the Golden Horde got their asses whipped in like Saudi Arabia or wherever it was when they were trying to take Egypt. That put a kibosh on them. I forget the name of the Sultan, but there was a Arabic noble, and somehow or another he managed to ambush the Golden Horde and just freaking exterminate them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they had their time and they did a great job at what they do, but eventually technology catches up, tactics catch up, and then
I mean, there's also the reason they overran China, other than like they got let in, is because China actually didn't have that great horses. Like they fielded less horses per army, per men in army per capita than Europe, because they just didn't have enough grains for it. Because they were focused on rice and
not starving.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, you have to remember too, is that for the Mongolians, China was right there.
Yeah.
And if you compare conquering China as far as how much money and loot you're going to get to riding 6 months across the freaking steppes to try and attack some Russian village, I mean, the numbers come out the same way every time.
Yeah.
China. It's right there. They're rich and wealthy. They have silks and freaking gold and this civilization that's been around for thousands of years. And they don't know how to fight worth a shit. Whereas those barbarians, those pale-skinned barbarians, yeah, we whip their ass, but they fight, And yeah, so the Mongols started really focusing in on China to the point that I think they become the Ming Dynasty.
They became one of the dynasties twice, I think.
Well, the thing about China is, if you conquer China, China will not become you. You will become China.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably because of the population. There's so many of them. It's like if you're a Mongol chief, what, you're going to try to convince the Chinese to all speak Mongolian, or you're just going to learn Chinese?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just easier. And
Hello,
3 generations down the line, you're Chinese. You're not even a Mongol invader. You're just the Chinese emperor now.
Yeah,
And they did that so many times,
but yeah, if I remember correctly, and is that China have like several like foreign emperors, but like emperors dynasties, but specifically, what do you call it? The Mongolian ones happened twice. I don't remember the names, but it happened the original one time. Then there were like dynasties that like inherited it, and then the Chinese rose up and stole their own emperor. Then they came Mongols again, and they lost that one. And that's
Yeah,
the
well,
dynasty that got overthrown by the communist.
the thing about China is about every so long of time, whether it's 500 years or 1,000 or whatever, the nation of China will split. And sometimes it will split into 3 factions and sometimes 5. Ribbit. And then those nations will spend the next God knows how long warring with each other until one of them wins and reunifies China. And then they'll be cool for a while. And then say 1,000 years, catch you later, Mobius. 1,000 years will pass and then boom, and generally the pattern is based on droughts.
Yeah.
Because the part of China that makes the most rice feeds the rest of China, which can barely grow anything. And if a big drought hits, then all hell breaks loose. And,
or that one time where that river moved 500 miles to the north.
Right. So I mean, they've had a pretty wild history with like in the one movie Hero. That's during the time, I think, the time of the 5 princes. And it's the first sovereign emperor of all of China is trying to unify China. And even though historically he was a very cruel and evil man, a lot of people still love the fact that he unified China and unified their alphabet and language and everything like that, so that everyone in all of Imperial China could speak to each other without having to learn Zhao or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the alphabet was 100% the same everywhere.
Yeah.
And then he drunk a bunch of mercury and died. They buried him under a hill full of mercury. And to this day, we're not allowed to exhume that shit because it's so poisonous, you'll probably die.
That, and there's also there were questions whether he was a redhead or not. Or maybe I'm thinking one of the Mongolians. Anyway.
I know they did find tombs in China that had red and blonde-haired people, but I'm pretty sure they said they were just probably Viking mercenaries that had that were like, fuck it, let's head east and see what we find.
Yeah.
And eventually got to China and spent their time being mercenaries and whatever. And when they were died, they were interred in their own tombs, because apparently they've been really good at their mercenarying or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Basically like the same thing they did with Eastern Rome, becoming Varangians. Kind of like they did that in China,
Yeah. And Squirrel Hermit, that sounds like a good dinner.
Yeah, that sounds actually great. I'm having leftover pork that my wife made like 3 days ago. She seasoned the pork shoulder or whatever it was and cooked it like for hours in a crock pot until it fell apart. I don't put barbecue sauce on mine though. I just eat it. because I like just the taste of it. But
Pork fat does indeed taste good. Yeah.
so, yeah. I mean, pork, in my opinion, is like the best animal. I mean, I love a good steak, but the thing with beef is no matter how you prepare it, you can always tell it's beef.
Yeah.
But pork, you can get pork chops, you can get bacon, you can get sausage, you can do a pork loin, pork shoulders. I mean, and every bit of it tastes totally different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So PETA is not going to win me over.
I
They
mean,
can
my
show me all
favorite.
the they can show me all the pictures of pigs getting slaughtered on farms and shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm still going.
Yeah, there was also a reason why my favorite sandwich had like 3 different kinds of pork in it.
Is your favorite sandwich a Cuban?
I don't know. It had like ham, bacon, and then like Danish, what do you call it, meatballs.
Oh man, that sounds really good. Here in
Yeah.
Florida, our Cuban immigrants that came across in the 70s, they invented a sandwich. The Cuban sandwich, they call it, even though it was invented here in Miami. And it's smoked ham, a boneless pork chop, Swiss cheese, mayonnaise and mustard, and a pickle. And I might be missing a meat in there. And it's put on like a Cuban roll, which is basically a baguette. And then they put it in one of those presses and like make it super crispy and everything.
Oh yeah, like a pinani press.
Exactly. And then they hand it to you and you eat it. And that's a Cuban.
Yeah.
You can get them pretty much anywhere. And you wouldn't think the mustard, mayonnaise, and pickle would work with the Swiss and the pork because it's roast pork. They put like a whole slab of roast pork on, and then the shaved, ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it should work, but it does very well. So that is Florida's state sandwich. Because, I mean, we're American. We have a thing for every state. We have a sandwich.
that's
We have
totally
a
fair.
dessert. We have a bird. Like our bird, like Kentucky's bird is the cardinal. I'm not sure what Florida's bird is. And Kentucky's number one thing is the hot brown, which is just an open-faced turkey sandwich with brown gravy. So, but yeah. So there's this Mexican restaurant my wife and I love to go to, but it's a split menu restaurant. So like half of the menu is traditional Mexican fare, but the other half is Cuban. So you can go in there, and if you're in the mood for Cuban, you could grab a Cuban sandwich or some sweet plantain or like a whole red snapper roasted and brought to the table. Because a lot of Cuban food, not surprisingly, is seafood.
Yeah, it's almost like they live on an island.
Yeah, it's almost like they live up an island, So you go there and you get your seafood if that's what you want. Or if you're like me, you get fajitas because I'm not imaginative at the Mexican restaurant. Unlike the Thai restaurant where I literally tried every entree on the menu, at the Mexican restaurant, I order the same thing every time.
Yeah, honestly, if I were ordering at a what do you call it, Mexican restaurant, and no one told me how things are pronounced, I would probably like do that, like that white woman pronouncing Mexican food meme, where it's like guacamole instead of.
Right.
Yeah.
You could call it guacamole.
Yeah.
I want a appetizer of your finest guacamole, please. And make sure to put those jalapenos on my burrito. I think that's a Tex-Mex thing, honestly. I
Yeah.
don't think that's a Florida thing because
Uh,
we grow up surrounded by Spanish-speaking people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I can speak enough Spanish to figure out what's wrong with somebody, or ask where a restaurant is.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh
So
wait, yeah, sorry, you're being a paramedic. I forgot.
right. So if I ran on some abuela and she's like trying to die on me, I can ask her if she's got pain in her chest or what's going on. You know.
Yeah.
And then end up treating her like she's unconscious anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's the protocol. If you can't communicate very well with the patient, pretend like they're unconscious and treat it that way.
Yeah.
Either way, it's the same, except you don't get to listen to the patient lie to you. Because the first thing you learn in EMT basic is the patient is always lying. No matter
Yeah.
what they say, they're lying.
Yeah. That's I understand mine, but it's also unfortunate. And yes, I have lied.
Yep. Patients will lie. So never trust them. Always double check their bullshit. And you'll be fine, you know. Yeah, crock pot pork, squirrel. It's the best. I don't get it as often as I would like, which is probably good because otherwise I'd probably gain all that weight back and I don't need that. But she makes basically pulled pork, but her pulled pork is so good that I don't even put sauce on it. I will just put it on a bun or whatever and eat it.
James, out of curiosity, do you get like meat from the grocery store, or do you have like an arrangement with a local farmer?
Kind of both. Sometimes we grab stuff from the local grocery store, but we also have this meat market store that's like fresh from wherever to this place, and they butcher it on the spot and everything.
Okay, that's also pretty cool. I was more like thinking like a direct thing with a farmer that some people do where like they buy like not a cow, but like half a pig ahead of time.
No. Okay, I understand what you're asking. If I wanted to, weird.
Okay, it's not on your end.
Yeah, my camera jacked up. Any amount of beef that I want. Whether it's, you know, a half a cow, the whole damn cow, and they will butcher the cow and cut it into all the different parts and, you know, give it to me.
Yeah.
Now, okay, what's going on with this camera?
It's frozen.
I did that one time, about half a cow, and whatever cow they sold me must have been 100 years old. It was tough. I mean, that was tough stuff.
So basically, you should just have made jerky out of it. A lot of jerky, but jerky nonetheless.
What I should have done is just every time I wanted some of it, throw it in the crock pot and let it freaking, you know, turn into beef sludge and then eat that.
Yeah.
Maybe throw some onions and carrots and stuff in there with it to make a beef stew or a beef something.
Okay, so you are not a chili person, or?
Oh, I love chili. My wife makes the best chili, and sometimes I ask her to make chili because I know that if she makes chili, then the next day we're going to eat chili dogs. And I love chili dogs. And we buy these giant 1 pound
hot dogs from like Sam's
Yeah.
or whatever. So I can only eat one of those bastards because I mean, it's just
Yeah,
too
there is
much
no reason to
food,
tempt fate.
but it's really good. So, and speaking of that, it's getting close to 3 hours. So I am going to bid you adieu. Adieu. Guten Nacht. Das Vidania.
And God bless.
And God bless. And I will catch you later, Dean. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, bro.
I agree. I also
It's
enjoy
a real
chatting with
pleasure.
you.
All right. Well, be safe, and I will catch you on the next one.